Okay, here we go.
Hello, my name is Jade Jung, and I'm an honours student at the University of Sydney, under the wonderful guidance and supervision of Dr. Naseem Ahmedpour. On behalf of myself and Naseem, I'm presenting our paper, Beyond Immersion, Designing for Reflection in Virtual Reality. As many of you may be aware, VR is a technology that is increasingly growing and becoming more popular. VR is unique because of its ability to create highly immersive and embodied experiences, inducing a state of flow. However, in VR, flow and immersion can be paralleled with the user's loss of awareness regarding their physical surroundings, sense of time, and concern for their self and physical body. This implicates what Kors et al. Deems as a flow paradox in VR, where immersive gameplay may result in less critical reflection. But as VR is predisposed to invoke high immersion and flow, there is a unique tension between what may be described as the reflective experience and the typical immersive experience of VR. Our research attempts to address this paradox, which leads us to our research questions. 1. What VR applications are being designed to support reflection for adults? And 2. What design strategies from the IOR conceptual model,
Which I will elaborate upon later,
are incorporated in these applications? The IOR model is a proposed conceptual model that we developed to facilitate reflection in VR, based on practices from the theatre. We drew upon the theatre because, like the present landscape of VR, in the 20th century, the theatre tradition was actually progressing towards highly immersive experiences. As a response, Bertolt Brecht, a Marxist playwright, sought to counter this immersion and invoke critical reflection through the purposeful implementation of dramatic techniques. To briefly explain the elements of the IOR model, firstly, we have immersive estrangement, which is a state that distances users from the virtual world. This translates Brecht's epic theatre, where he presented familiar elements as unfamiliar, to a VR context. Next, we have observation and re-examination, where users can observe the world through experiential and observational learning. This translates elements of Brecht's Lehrstücke or learning plays, where he permitted audiences to influence the plot and then see the alternative option that they didn't choose. Finally, we have the repatterning of knowledge, which provides opportunities for the extension or confirmation of previously gained knowledge. This represents familiar subjects in the scene to create new insights and again is rooted in the Brechtian theatre. To answer our research questions and to test the conceptual model, we conducted the scoping review of the ACM digital library. We assessed 157 articles, leaving a final corpus of 12 papers. Next came data analysis, where we took both a bottom-up and top-down approach. We firstly extracted data and deductively coded these into the IOR model. Then, any design strategy that didn't fit into the IOR lens was inductively coded. Now let's examine the results in relation to our research questions. 1. What VR applications are being designed to support reflection for adults? The majority of the 12 reviewed articles directly supported reflection as an end goal, while 2 papers used reflection as a vehicle to support a different experience. Hence, findings reiterated that reflection can be conceptualized and deployed in different ways. Additionally, reflection was applied in varying contexts, ranging from life events to more mundane and everyday situations. Research question 2. What design strategies from the IOR conceptual model are incorporated in these applications? It was found that all reviewed articles encompassed at least one element of the IOR model. So under the state of immersive estrangement, which involves distancing the user from the virtual world, we identified 5 design strategies. These are viewpoint manipulation, which describes the technique of changing a user's point of view or position in virtual space. For example, in one study, users conversed with themselves by switching embodiments between their avatar and an avatar of Sigmund Freud as a counselor character, reflecting through an objective lens and self-talk. Another design strategy is estranged body ownership, where the user embodies a bizarre avatar. For example, in one study, users embodied an infant to experience different parenting styles, inciting reflection on motherhood. Another design strategy is estranged scene construction, which manipulated the visual representation of a setting to be unfamiliar, supporting reflection by allowing users to fill interpretive gaps. Next, we have bizarre event construction, where consequences of the VR world were absurd, resulting in a sense of distance from the presented events. And finally, we have hypernarration, where the presence of a diegetic narrator could interject in meaningful ways and facilitate reflection on an experience. The next part of the model is observation and re-examination, where the user is given opportunities to reprocess and learn and gain new insights. So there are 3 main design strategies that support this. The first is world continuity, where the virtual world continues despite the user's presence. For example, one study featured a main character who didn't acknowledge the user, allowing for layered observations and reflection about the protagonist. Another technique is branching narratives, where users can witness the consequences of their actions and engage in experiential learning. Finally, we identified the strategy of allotted downtime between events. And this is where the user was given unstructured time to reflect during or after the VR experience. The final state is a repatterning of knowledge, which involves changing or confirming personal insights, and this was fostered by 3 design strategies. The first strategy involves basing the virtual world off of personally relevant settings to encourage participants to rethink and alter their previous knowledge. Another technique is using personalized artifacts to change interpretations in real life. For example, by incorporating common or personal objects in VR, thereby facilitating reflection by anchoring thought to the objects. The last strategy is representing the virtual experience, and this essentially means employing a life review of the VR experience where participants saw a playback of their actions, resulting in summative reflection. So it seems that our IOR model held up quite well. But we found another design strategy in Kitson et al.'s work, where they foreshadowed in-game experiences in the lab. And this resulted in a shift in participants from their everyday mindset to one that is more open to engage with the experience. So we introduced one more element to our model, readiness for reflection, which is a stage that supports pre-reflection by allowing participants to prepare for the upcoming reflective process. This evolves our IOR model to our RIOR model, or real model, which coincidentally is a lot nicer to say. Therefore, findings indicated that while previous studies have employed design strategies to elicit reflection in VR, there are currently no means to unify the commonalities between them. Our proposed real model addresses this gap. But what does this all mean? While the real conceptual model stems from somewhat niche origins by combining the theatre and VR, employing strategies from this model has the potential to be beneficial for designing and supporting VR in situations where reflection is key. For example, in supporting mental health, well-being, and self-care. And it can also be beneficial for where learning is vital, for example, in education and professional and personal development. For more detail, please refer to our paper. In summary, the real conceptual model is valuable by providing a lens to unify design considerations, and it offers guidance to foster deeper engagement with reflective processes in VR. We encourage other designers and researchers to comment on the real model and develop and extend upon the included design strategies. That's all from me, so thank you everyone for listening.